And the stream has begun.
And
No,
everyone
just me.
goes quiet.
Yeah, it's just me. Welcome to this big collaborative event that's just me.
You're working with yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was blowing my nose.
No, don't apologize. We started a group chat the other day with me coughing my guts out. It's fine.
Yeah, you were almost dying, but it's fine.
It's fine. Hi. Welcome to Project VR. I didn't have an opening planned.
It's Project Via. We've been talking about it.
Yeah, vaguely. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Explain the rules.
Explain the rules. There aren't many rules, to be honest. This is a project where we are designing collaboratively the world of a sort of action-adventure game, akin to something like Zelda or Dark Souls or what have you. And we're going to be designing it by everybody just having their own zone. So we've all gone off and thought about what zone we want, and not talk to each other about what zone we're going to have, which is the fun part. And then, once today's stream is all about just chatting about our zones and what the world is and going, how does this fit? And then thereafter, we're going to be spinning some wheels and randomly generating prompts, and we're going to be drawing things for each other's zones. Or not necessarily drawing, writing, whatever's your bag, as it were. We already have some writing and a mood board already submitted for areas. Yeah, there's 9 people in this. 9.
I like how the stuff that we've got so far from the people who aren't going to be in the voice chat today is literally opposite ends of the spectrum. We have, I'm putting this city in the depths of the ocean, and
Yeah.
I have a flying city and a city in the clouds. So we've got the top and we have the bottom, and now we just have to fill in the middle.
Exactly.
We'll figure it out. It might be
Yeah.
a very vertical map.
It's fine. Mine's in the middle, if that, well, slightly above middle, if that helps. It's on the ground, well, actually, I guess in average. We'll get to that. Yeah. How's everyone doing? Because I haven't actually asked that.
I'm good. Excited.
So like a couple of seconds ago, very panicky.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, also that a little bit.
No
Same,
panic.
Christy. It's okay. It's okay.
Only friends.
Only
It's like OnlyFans, but more comfy. I don't know. Is this how I envisioned these? Is this how I envisioned these streams starting? Absolutely not. Yeah. So we have 5 people here. We have Chibi, Christy, me, Kiro, and Ragdoll. There are some people who are not here. There's Plamps, who's probably asleep. Dark, who is elsewhere. Lewis, who is doing dissertation stuff. And Brain Oobs. Yeah. So we've got friends elsewhere. Yeah.
and that's okay.
And that's okay. That's fine. No, there are no. When I said that there's no rules, really no rules associated to this, there isn't. Nobody really, no one has to do anything. But it's nice to know what everyone's zones are before we start, so that we can actually do things. But yeah. So I guess we should start by actually introducing zones. Let's go in alphabetical order of zone name, so that we don't know what comes next.
Oh no.
Zone name. I haven't even thought of a thing for my zone.
Because that
What
means
letter do I want my zone to start with?
Abyss. That begins with A.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Plamps' zone.
Ooh, okay.
Plamps has the Abyss. What was it also called?
Bisexual ocean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's because basically the color composition ended up being a lot of blues and purples
Yeah.
and gradient between the two, which of course will inevitably look like the bisexual flag.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh.
Bisexual colors are very pretty, so I don't blame plums at all.
They're very nice.
Also, to be fair, a lot of sea life just does not care about gender binary and will just sort of flip flop between things. So,
Yeah.
like, if you ever really want to get confused about what biology is doing, look at clownfish.
Oh yeah, don't
Yeah.
they like? There's like just a dominant male, and then all of the other males just become female. While that's the male. And
Other way around.
oh, other way around.
There
My
is a
apologies.
dominant female with their preferred
Yay.
male. And if the dominant female dies, their preferred male becomes the new female, and the other males fight over who becomes the preferred male.
Oh, interesting. What a fun society. That would be
And very
interesting
hot.
how that would. Yeah. So I should introduce the abyss rather than just sticking it up on screen. I just like how there's the word vibes. There's a plamp. Hello, we're talking about your area. Should we leave it until you're more alive? We'll wait till you get coffee.
Yeah.
Feel free to join whenever. Or if you don't want to be in voice chat, that's fine. You can be in chat. Yeah. So this is the bisexual ocean place.
We love
Ocean, but also space kinda.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining there's lots of little sort of bioluminescent friends floating around in the water, making sort of star-like
Oh.
things. Because I'm
More
specific
friendly
like that.
when we call them friends.
Friends. I could have said, crustaceans or sea insects or something.
Yeah, that's not as nice.
Also we can see the Kira's little friend on screen. Little voice chat.
Yeah.
I can't, but exciting.
It's you
It's
wrapped in
very
blankets with a drink,
Yeah.
which is also your icon for the. I have made little icons for everybody.
Yeah.
For the wheels.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you should be able to work out who's who. Some of them are a bit tricky,
Yeah.
particularly Oobs, who does not have like a kind of global avatar for any of their online stuff. So I just, well, I've got my parsnip and what have you. The Oobs is like on one platform has this picture, on another platform has this picture and stuff, and so I just decided to draw them as the Peepo Shoosh puppet that they have as their Discord avatar. So
I get it. I just like the phrasing of global.
yes, global. You need a global avatar. Oh, you had to listen and potentially fall asleep again. Yay! Have a good sleepy listen.
Yeah. Sleep well.
Yeah, so Abyss. This is a big old body of water, very deep stuff. Towns at various depths with different styles. The more antisocial, the deeper. Or the deeper, the more antisocial, I guess. Magical lights.
Yay. We
Magical
love it.
twinkly lights.
I feel like I need to make this text smaller so that we have room here. I just
No.
realized I made it huge.
I
We'll
made a big
figure it out.
canvas. And you're filling it up already.
Per my standard, my letters go up and up the more I write.
Like a little whale friend.
It can be size if necessary.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm just gonna
we'll
shrink
figure
a
it
little
out as we go.
We'll figure it out. I definitely had this carefully planned.
Oh, did you? You had a whole schedule
Yes.
and everything. A rotor.
Yep, there's a rotor. Well, there was. I burned it. So, yeah. There's some fun gameplay ideas of like you need specific skills or vehicles to navigate the area. I like this is my favorite bit. Said to be bottomless. There has to be a flaw somewhere, right? Question mark. I like that. I like
Anyways.
mysteries.
I mean, if there is, it's probably one of those things of the devs have put a kill plane in, so you're not going down there.
Yeah, there is a bottom in the floor of in the form of a kill plane, but that's about it. Or maybe.
Just have to imagine.
Yeah, and there's a little whale friend in the drawing which I like. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, I can already see some fun art that I'd like to make for this, but I have to wait for the wheel. Well, I don't have to wait for the wheel. I could do it whenever.
I mean,
yeah,
you could also just ignore the wheel and do whatever. So
exactly. I should specify just because the wheel says something doesn't mean you have to do it. You can do something else entirely.
It's for prompt ideas in case you don't have anything you can think of.
Yes, it's a prompt, not a demand. I like prompts though. I like randomly generating things and doing them. So I'll try, but nobody else must. Cool. I see we've already got more stuff going on here. I'll read out more of other friends' stuff between us talking about things. So who wants to go next? Who wants to talk about their area?
Can go because I don't know if it connects to plants, but you know, it's water.
Water.
Water is involved.
Water.
You might not guess that from Glowing River Cave.
No, there's no water in there at all. Oh, river.
Let's see if I can just copy and paste my things. I'll put it in Discord.
You can drag things onto the canvas in Aggie as well. But it's nice to have things in Discord so that we can...
I'll put it in Discord because for some reason it's not working.
I think you can drag it from Discord to Aggie, so Discord. Discord first.
Hey.
First
I'll
port of call.
put it in Discord.
Yeah.
If I can, if the file isn't too big, because that tends to happen.
Oh, also, I should specify, it's been a while, but music for these streams, it comes courtesy of the grand old Adrian von Ziegler. I don't know why I called him old, but...
Okay, well, I have to resize things. I'm sorry. Someone else can go first. No.
Oh no, it's too powerful for Discord.
Oh, right, the file size, not file size.
The Sylvise, that's the name of the villain of Project Via.
Yeah.
That's another thing we'll have to work out at some point as well, who the protagonist is, and all of that stuff, so...
I believe we agreed on at least a, like, non-voluntarily silent protagonist.
Oh yes, a protagonist who's silent because every time they try to speak, something interrupts them.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, I'm good with that.
We'll have to figure out what that thing is in every, what was it, section?
Oh yeah, what the noises are. I think it's just contextual. The person or
go.
a train. Oh, hello.
I resized it.
Oops,
Or you're
all
all-
glow. I like that. That's a good first
Stop
starting
that.
point.
Plus,
Looks pretty.
This definitely connects to Plamps' area, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
only it's, like, different colors.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you can tell that they're different places. And also one of them isn't actually underwater.
No, mine is above water, but in a cave, so...
See? Transitionary, you know? It's...
I mean, it could also be a cave underwater. There are plenty of underwater caves where if you manage to get into them, there is an air pocket there. It's
that's-
just a matter of getting to it.
Atlantis.
That's also an option. I hadn't thought about that, but that's also cool.
Also, underwater caves are terrifying.
Yeah.
You'll never get me into one.
I do love the concept of this being terrifying, so maybe.
And this type of image is not supported by Aggie, apparently, so I'm going to save it and then put it on. It's going to make you a folder on my computer. I can save
Lots
things.
of issues with this file for some reason.
For some reason. Don't worry, this is well planned.
Yeah, sure.
Your file is just too powerful.
Yeah,
Too
apparently.
Yeah, your area is already horrifying in the sense that the technology doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
That's great.
we are here. Boom.
I cannot copy and paste this for some reason. It just won't allow me to.
It's on the board, it's fine.
Yeah.
In fact, I can give the thing to you. There you go. You can do what you want with it now.
Thank you.
So
Good.
That's for anyone for later, but in case anyone is wondering why underwater caves are not a thing I ever want to fuck around with, I just put a link in Discord to a mortician who's talking about why it's not a thing we want to fuck around with.
Oh, I know that. Oh, that's a terrifying one.
I've seen some of her stuff before, and I haven't seen that one.
Fair.
Yeah. I wouldn't, yeah. To be honest, I don't think I'd need a mortician to explain to me why that's terrifying.
No,
Yeah.
I can guess why it's terrifying.
Anyway, Chibi, explain why your area is terrifying.
Either
also
underwater cave or not, but you know, cave, glowing river with probably a very large murderous creature living in that river, which is why you shouldn't go there.
Fair enough.
And my idea was, kind of like these abandoned ruins that are now currently like being re-inhabited. AKA every archaeologist's worst nightmare. Because it, they just saw some houses and temples and you know what, and they were like, sure, we might as well. So we're gonna live there. Also,
Saves us making our own.
exactly. There are perfectly good ruins right here. Why would we like make our own? Also, salamander lizard people. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I
Salamander
want
people.
them.
As there should be. There should be lizard people.
Yeah. Look at that face.
I looked up some salamanders and just look at that face. It's so flat and chubby.
Spooky Aero River to the Bi-Space Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm gonna have to break that trend. I don't think there's a flag with the colours of my area. Yay! Fun.
Fun.
When do you say re-inhabited? Who's it re-inhabited by? Is it the salamander people?
Probably, yes.
Yes. And many creepy crawlies.
Many creepy. There's so much space for creepy crawlers. I don't know what lives in caves, and honestly, I don't want to know. I
We're
looked
about to
up a
find
list,
out.
and they all looked horrifying.
Look at that! You can look at that face. It's not horrifying.
I mean, those aren't horrifying. But there were also lizards without eyes, and they look kind of unsettling.
There's good friends and bad friends.
Like, it's
fine.
just
Yeah.
a salamander and just no eyes. Like, where the eyes is, there's just skin over it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what the more horrifying bit is, and I don't know if it's true for that particular species, but I know there are some eyeless cave creatures, and I don't remember if this is, like I said, I don't know what species you looked at, but there's eyeless cave fish and eyeless cave salamanders, and at least some of them start life with eyes, and they just sort of like lose them.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They're like baby teeth, but baby eyes.
No.
Oh, you've lost your baby eyes. The eye fairy will come and get them for you and leave you a nickel.
That's not horrifying at all.
I think, yeah, I'm going to take away the phrase eye fairy. And that's going to be a thing in VIA. Yeah, Plamps says if you can't make your own ruins, ones you find in a cave are fine. As if it's like a kind of like children's instructional art project.
Yeah.
Yay! Cool. Glowing river cave. No name. As yet. You don't need a name. It's fine.
No, I don't have a name for it because I'm terrible at naming things. So someone else can figure that out.
I don't
We
think
could always just
name
use
is on
the
the wheel.
Name generator stuff and just go from there.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
My name, the name of my place is Cave Fred.
That's the orange one.
Yeah.
Look, there are multiple rivers out there that are just named River in 2 different languages, so
Yeah.
you never know.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Might just be cave.
Cave. Yeah, cool. Let's do another external one. I have Dark's one up here. Annoyingly I can't. Can I? Google Docs does not let you just take images from the doc, but
It's fine.
so
I mean,
Dark's
it's
appears
probably
to
because
be.
you're not allowed to edit it because it's dark.
Yeah.
I can make a copy.
Loud.
Just you
I'll sort it out. It's fine. I can show it on stream. Aha. Lovely. It's a floating city. Shall I read the spiel? Might
yes,
as well
go
have a
for it.
record.
Do it.
Am I going to put on a voice? No. The city has been in the skies as long as any can recall, following its own path, ignorant of the winds or weather. Many have tried to plot its course only to give up, proclaiming its utter randomness its only guide. In recent memory, something has gone amiss in the city for 2 years. Any who witnessed the city saw what could only be a war. Explosions lighting the night sky, arcs of lightning across its walls, sections of it crumbling and falling to the lands below. Then there was silence. Until recently, things have begun travelling down from the city, strange creatures of metal and flesh riding flying machines, which just makes me think of Dick Dastardly, raiding and pillaging before returning to their city. People speak of battles in the air between warring groups of these creatures. The flying city is an immense flying structure of grand architecture of bygone advanced peoples. It has become run down and decrepit under its new masters, 3 races, once slaves to the now gone rulers of the city. They constantly war with little care for the city itself. Wreckage is everywhere, and magical fallout is calling whole districts of the city to be floating islands of broken buildings. One race are gangly, naturally short-lived people because of their mistreatment. They have resorted to grafting machined limbs to replace their own withered ones, and implanting replacement organs. They craft masks for themselves as a rite of adulthood, and to hide their features, the more intricate, the higher their station. The other 2, I don't know, someone else figure that out. The general idea of the sort of look is kind of spooky and imposing.
Yeah.
There you go. Spooky and imposing flying
I'm having
city.
flashbacks to that one Ghibli movie,
Yeah.
the Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky. Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting is that I don't actually know that movie, but I have heard of it recently because that is also what Elden Ring was referencing with their floating city that's crumbling.
Yes.
So,
Yes, and Dark mentioned that too. Yeah.
yeah. So we've got lots of Ghibli going on.
I can
I was
see
thinking
definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, we got that. That's the thing. Can I paste this?
Mhm.
No, I can't. Okay. Well, I'll work that out.
I was wondering if you would do like an Elden Ring narrator style
And like a
reading.
screenshot of it.
The city has been in the skies.
Yeah, exactly.
Not your excellent Dark Souls female voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what I did for that. I think I was just speaking a low voice. I don't know. Cool. Flying. So we've gone extreme. Deep ocean. City in the sky.
And
we
let's
should-
go to the middle.
Yeah. Let's fill in the gaps. Who wants to be next?
I can go next.
Okie dokie.
Can I just import a picture into Aggie?
You should be able to just drag it straight onto the canvas.
I'm on iPad though.
Oh, I don't know how that.
I've been able to copy
fuck.
paste images into Canvas, or not into Canvas, into the canvas on Aggie. Whenever I was doing the skull stuff, I just copy the image from whatever, usually in Discord, and paste it.
Allow access to clipboard. What? I might just Discord it.
Discord.
Ooh.
This
Ooh.
is my very creative
Ooh.
idea. Copenhagen in the 19.
That's
My
fair.
idea. I was just till today. I was only thinking harbor, some kind of magical pier or harbor. But I'm thinking like Victorian, Edwardian, European kind of seedy part of the harbor. It's like industrial, and like there's a lot of smoke, and I'm not saying the characters should all be like that, but the vibe is like people in trench coats and hats and smoking and stuff.
Love that vibe.
See, and this is one that you could easily add on to because I've lived in industrial towns before,
Mhm.
and currently I'm working in one that's technically an industry town. And basically, I think this sort of lends itself well to there's multiple areas in the city. So, like, this is the industry side of town where nobody lives here, or at least nobody who can afford to live elsewhere would want to live here, because it's like right next door is the train station or the harbor town or just all of the noise. And let me
Yeah.
tell you, living right next to the train that goes right to the industry part of town is noisy, speaking from experience. And then you've got other parts of town where, like, the people actually live. So
It's
this
funny,
could
I'm
definitely
always-
be part of a
Sorry.
larger city area that the rest of us
Yeah.
can build onto as well.
Yeah, it is. It's like the main part where I imagine, because a whole city can be seedy and detective and stuff. But this part, at least, I'm imagining to be like a lot of what's it called? Like dive bars. That's who's drinking places. Where a lot of sailors will be and adventurers, and where people can like ask a lot of questions and stuff.
Nice.
Or not ask too many questions, because that will sometimes
Yeah.
get you in trouble.
But like for the protagonist or whatever, if they need to get some information on some quests or whatever.
I feel like there'd be like a whole like section of the game where you get stuck in this city because like something gets stolen or whatever, and you've got to go around like talking to people and infiltrating things or something. I don't know.
It's definitely a place where lots of quests can happen surrounding like infiltration and like secret things and figuring things out. And also just a good like central hub kind of thing. Or at least
I mean, it is a harbor, so
yeah, exactly.
A hubba.
Well, and I mean, this also leads itself well to maybe sort of like a crossroadsy type area, because like if this is in the harbor, this might be, for all we know, this harbor area could be on like the edge of the Abyss Lake, where it's like, oh, the top of the lake is fine, don't go too far down, because that's where the weird stuff happens.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, but
be a lot of things, because I don't have a lot of imagination. I can't like just create stuff from nowhere. I copy what I see. So
this is why we.
anything that would tie everything together, whatever, or just add something crazy, I'm all like, yes. It's not a super fleshed out idea, so that's
What the project's about.
I mean, depending on like how
I mean, like also changes.
fantasy things like people from all our areas are gonna look like. It'd be fun to have this like as sort of like a where everyone mingles, so you just see whatever kind of creatures in like your Copenhagen Victorian
Chibi.
19th century garb.
Yeah.
Chibi, if you want to draw a salamander in a trench coat, no one is going to stop you.
Do it.
Yes, I
You
might.
There's gonna be like, you
It
know,
might have been the first thing that came to mind.
Do it.
Yeah.
the houses and ships and everything could be like very different styles if it's like illicit persons or whatever type of people we have.
Yeah, that's also fun to play with, and also I'm just imagining like you have these like flagships and whatever, but also like people have to go down, so you also just have these little fantasy submarines.
Ooh. Fantasy submarine.
I like that.
Like maybe I don't know how that would work out, but a submarine in the style of a flagship.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
It's ruled by magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
I mean, I sure hope it runs by magic, because trying to do like a paddle boat type submarine is going to be awkward as hell.
Yeah.
I tried to fit magic into the word submarine and I just ended up with submargarine.
I like that. though.
Submargarine.
It's not a bad word.
I
That's
can't believe
definitely-
it's not butter.
It's tasty.
That's definitely like a
can't-
submarine with like
I can't believe it's not Bota.
advertising on.
I think putting advertise like if you're paying for advertising space, you're going to want people to see it. So putting it on the side of a submarine does not seem ideal.
I mean,
One would think, but I mean, there's like an underwater
yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
underwater
city in our area.
Sell it to
like
the Abyss
Abyss.
friends. Yeah.
Maybe
that very
the
very
submarine's
unlit
like-
place.
It's a literal water taxi.
Yeah.
We're taking the
Yeah.
taxi to go to the other place.
yeah.
It's like it's not on the side, it's on the top.
Anyway, lots of fun ideas can be put into
Yeah.
this.
I think your zone's going to work well with mine. So that's good.
Intriguing.
Yes.
Let us
Also, 3 water cities so far.
yeah. We can now interject with Lewis's one. Which is Divine City. I believe the key phrase here was so divine and heavenly it hurts.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm taking that
That's so good.
literally.
It
You need,
was the statement that stood out to me the most.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Same.
So yeah, we have Divine City wrought of crystal and gold. You literally can't see the top of the tallest tower. It's above the clouds. Whether the floating city can, don't know. No one has a face, just helmets and masks with shadows under. So divine and heavenly it hurts. Very gothic. Have fun drawing spires. Yeah, everyone's status is determined by their armor's size. Deep down, they're all spooky ghosts or spirits, but they encase themselves in armor and metal. You're allowed, and you're allowed more the higher up in rank you are. So basically, lots of big ghosts in armor.
yeah.
No, lots of ghosts in big armor.
I feel like this is probably on a mountain, just so that we
that
can
makes
make
sense.
things even more imposing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds like it would be on the mountain.
I mean,
I
all
agree.
like churches I know of are built on hillsides. The
Yeah.
tallest places and stuff.
The church near me is right halfway up a hill, so
Oh.
it couldn't make up its mind.
Also, like I'm
Sit down.
imagining like very Honormondo lighting of
Yeah.
like very much covered in like golden hues, kind of.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
so
like
Very bright.
no, hang on, that's wrong. Is it? No, don't worry. Sorry, I'm an idiot. But yeah, and I was just thinking about Anor Londo, that it's like, it's actually kind of just sort of marbly color, but because everything is just like bathed in golden light, it just looks yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I thought it
Cool.
was like clay. Because it's that color.
Anor Londo is just very pliable.
Mhm.
If you lean on the spinning spiral staircase too much, it's just gonna flop over.
What's it called? I mean, like Adobe. Is that like the
Oh, that's a sort of reddy color, isn't it?
I don't know. I was just thinking those beigey
Oh.
buildings that's made of earth.
Oh yeah, if I type in Adobe into Google, I'm definitely gonna get the clay, aren't I?
It's called.
Oh yeah, you can get different. Oh yeah.
I should know this because I have family in the area. What is that building style called?
I derailed things. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool.
Oh, no,
I
it's
remember
okay.
one of the tribes is called Pueblo, and I think that's just also usually what the building style is called as well.
Yeah, it is. If
It's
I
nice.
remember right.
Oh yeah,
Something
Taos
like it.
Pueblo, apparently, according to this. Apologies for my awful pronunciation. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm English.
Yeah, it's just called a Pueblo style house.
Cool.
And those buildings are usually built out of rock and clay, but also just built out of the side of cliffs. In New Mexico, there's one old historic site that's an old Pueblo town, Pueblo being the tribe name, and it's just in some mountains, like literally in the mountain.
Nice.
I mean,
That's what
that
I'm thinking.
also be cool for like Lewis's area to be like kind of a Minas Tirith kind of thing, where it's
Ooh,
like
yeah.
like it goes above the mountain it is in, obviously, because the tower is highest tower is above the sky, above the clouds or whatever. But you know, kind of like built into the mountain.
I'm doodling. But I've sort of got this idea of how on earth am I going to draw this? Of like a kind of. Oh god, this is going to be impossible to sketch here.
You got this.
No, I haven't. We'll do something else, but I have it in my head. I have an
No,
idea as
you
to like the general
got
structure
this.
of like it's kind of like there's a sort of like hollow sort of cliff thing, and like you got part of the city is inside the cliff, and then as
Okay.
it comes out, the buildings sort of get bigger, and then they start spiraling around the cliff until they get up to the top, where you get like the big steeple thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think
That can look
understand
cool
what you're
if I
thinking.
know what I'm talking about.
Mesa Verde, that's the name of the place. Hold on, let me
Hey.
grab a picture.
Picture. I like how like Lewis specified grand golden crystals, just very impressive, and we start talking about clay built houses.
Oh, but I mean, you could still use sort of the similar aesthetic of like it's in the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
thing.
how I got to Minas Tirith, because for me Minas Tirith is very much that. I don't know if it is built into the mountain, but it sure looks like it in the movies.
So it's
Yeah.
that, but with way more money.
Yes.
That's my my starting point anyway. Cool. So that's Lewis's golden, shiny, sparkly city. Yeah. I guess following on from Port Town, I should probably go next. Because I imagine mine connects to the harbour. So yeah, I was thinking of doing a hub as well. Of this idea of having a place that's just sort of connects all the areas together, which is quite tricky given what we already have. Like 2 of them are underground, one's in the sky.
Cool map.
But instead of just having like a place that connects to a whole bunch of things, I thought I would have something sort of more built for purpose. And there's something in games, particularly Dark Souls, Elden Ring, etc., which they always do because it looks nice, but they never do anything with. And I'm always disappointed that they never do anything with it. So I'm doing something with it. Gosh darn it.
Hell yeah.
And they also, I'm going to apologize in advance for the, I stress, inadvertent double entendre associated to this project. Because my area is a whopping great viaduct. Have a doodle. There we are.
You have so much water for some reason.
Nice. Yeah.
I like how with the the examples you gave, it's like, oh, we could do like different areas, like a fire area, a forest area, and all of us just kind of like, nope, ocean.
Nope.
Water.
Honestly,
We all want water.
Honestly,
I
when
haven't
was thinking of
specified
this,
aqueduct. I
my
said
very first
viaduct.
thought was, yeah, on the coast somewhere. But I've since, thinking of something else. But yeah, all water.
I haven't said aqueduct. There is an aqueduct in it, but I haven't said it.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be nice to have sort of like a way to get around the world. My original thought was just to have a massive viaduct going, like, carving right the way through the whole sort of place. But then I thought it's just drawing arches is just a pain. But then I thought maybe it's better to have like a kind of central tower or something from which a bunch of like viaducts all sort of come out like spokes. I made a render of that as well. Hang on. This was the 3D one because it was easier to do in 3D.
Ooh.
I don't know what's going on with the tower. I just wanted arches. Yeah. So it's a viaduct, and you might think, what can you do? It's literally just a viaduct. Like, what do you what do you do with that? That's not a zone. It is. It's 3 actually, kind of. There's a top, middle, and a bottom. The top is the viaduct itself, and we have established, thankfully, with the port town, that this world has civilization and trade. And thus the viaduct is a highway of people traveling backwards and forwards and doing all sorts of things. So you're going to find on the viaduct adventurers, travelers, merchants, all these sorts of things. Merchants that have set up shop on the side of the bridge. I drew a little town like overhanging the side of the bridge, because if you've never seen pictures of Old London Bridge, you should. It's an architectural disaster. Of just like
Probably why it fell down.
it was dismantled actually, but it probably would have fallen down if it hadn't been dismantled. They just built buildings hanging off the side of the bridge. It's great. So you got all that sort of stuff. There's people and trade and stuff. There's probably like highwaymen and bandits and all these sorts of things hiding under various arches and eaves and so on. You then have the inside. Well, it's high up. I was gonna say it's high up, but it's not really compared to the city in the sky and the one that has a steeple that you can't see. But theoretically, it's a place that like flying creatures can roost. So birds and dragons and such. You then have the inside, which is the aqueduct, and also very sort of narrow stone labyrinthine passageways and staircases, and basically a sewer level. And I'm sure there's at least like one cult hanging out in there somewhere. This is a big thing. I should specify. This is big. But then you have the bottom, kind of, almost, because it's not necessarily relevant to a lot of the areas we've seen already, but the viaduct itself is not like in a zone, it's in other zones. So it's interesting to ask, hey, how would my zone interact with some massive stone pillars emanating from them, you know? So the first idea I had was, if you can see in the picture, there's like a river. I was thinking, like, what would happen? What would people who live around a river buy a massive stone thing, just a big stone leg going right into the middle of the river? And I came up with this idea of like an angler would just go out there and it's like, oh, if I hitch my boat to the thing, that's a really good fishing spot. And they go out there and they catch a bunch of fish, and like all the other anglers are like, that's a good idea, we should do that. And they all start fishing around it, but then before long there are just too many anglers around it, so people start bringing bits of wood and hammering it into the side of the leg so that they can get a perch. And then more and more perches get added, and they start to get connected together, and they build roofs for bad weather, and before you know it, an entire fishing village is just sort of built spiraling up the leg of this thing, overhanging the river. And so that could be like a fun little vertical level or something. And I'm sure they make like a winch or pulley system to get fish up to the road above to send off somewhere and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you get my area on the wheel, feel free to think, you know, how would... feel free to ask what would actually happen in your area where the leg comes down. So you can cheat with mine if you want. But good thing for Chib and Plamp. The legs just keep going. No one's found the bottom of them yet. No one's found the bottom of these legs. They just keep going. So feel free to have just some random massive columns plummeting through the ceiling and then the floor of your underground caves / abysses.
I love the idea of it just keeping going because it very implies that this, like, some people are gonna see, like, this viaduct as, like, an entity and gonna start a cult around it.
From the sounds of things, they might have started a cult inside of it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The one like bit of lore I have for it is that it's older than anyone knows. No one knows what it was built for or what it was supposed to go to. It's just always been there.
Now it's or at least people see it. Some people see it as an entity, and they're gonna think it's a god.
And no one's managed to get in the tower in the middle.
Interesting.
So what's in there?
Who knows?
Not me.
Good.
Let's find out. So that's mine. Got a viaduct.
Your art for this is crazy.
Yes.
It started as a sketch that I did last Friday. Was that when I did that? Chibi was there. And I was like, this is supposed to be a quick sketch, but I'm taking too long. And then I did another version of the sketch, and then I did another one. And then today I did colour. And then got rid of the original sketch that the colour was for. and then I got that.
Of course.
So yeah,
you're Chris.
I just tried to come up with a bunch of demonstrating a bunch of ways that areas could interact with the viaduct. Because I think there's just a lot of fun like level design you can do. There's like mushrooms going up it, and the aqueduct's cracked and it's coming out, and things crawling up the side, etc. So basically, merchants and bandits and flying things up top, creepy crawlies and horrible sewer things in the middle, and then whatever is in your area down below. Bingo bongo, that's mine.
Very good.
Nice.
Inexplicably though, I can't move that picture anymore.
What?
I could only move one of these pictures. Oh no, Aggie, what are you doing?
Aggie, you're so weird.
It's fine, don't worry about it. I'll make this one smaller. Oh no, I can do that. I can resize it, I can't move it, so I'll just resize it and put it over there, I guess. Oh no. Now chat's
because
up.
they're on the same layer, so it's just one picture now.
But that's what I tried to move them both at the same time, but it only moved one of them, despite the fact that they're on the same layer.
Oh.
That's why I was confused. Anyway, Aggie's fun. Yeah, so we've got a big old... I don't know where to put... We'll have to work out geographically.
Geographically.
I know, I'm just trying to work out what I just said.
Geographically.
Anyway, we're going to have to work out where it goes.
Because right now we have a city, a lake,
yeah,
a cave in a lake,
a city on a mountain,
floating around the sky, and possibly some mountains, question mark?
Does anyone have anywhere that's flat?
Maybe? I still haven't quite decided on mine.
Yes.
I don't know.
I like the idea that there is just nowhere that isn't those places, so this viaduct is just over nothing.
I mean, the surface of water is flat.
Could be, yeah. It could all just be Could all just be fishing villages. Could be water world. Just.
I mean, there is at least like one, either like rock formation, because my thing is in a cave.
Yeah.
I don't know if that cave extends above water, but I think it does.
Well, it could be below.
I mean, we could always just say that the exploration, like the game, quote unquote, happens in a limited area of the overall world. So, like the Witcher series, you mostly are just traveling around on forests in this small, like, coastal area, rocky coastal area. And, like, in theory, there's probably, like, deserts and whatnot, but for the most part, you just sort of stay in that one area. So it could be that the area we're working with has sort of a limited biodiversity thing going on here, but that's because we're not going very far. Possibly because you're walking.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could be an island.
Mm-hmm.
Dunno. Well, there are still more zones to talk about. So who's next? I guess it's Kiro or Ragdoll.
Do we flip a coin?
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads. What does that mean? Does that mean you go first or second? It means you choose.
I don't know, we never established that. Well, from the sounds of things, Kiro is still a little question mark about things.
Yeah.
So, since I had no idea that everyone was going to be sort of choosing sort of the same sorts of things,
nobody did.
Yeah.
This is what I was looking forward to.
So, I don't have any pictures, but I do have ideas.
That's okay. Just tell us.
I didn't have pictures until 30 minutes before stream either.
That's fair. Basically, I'm going to just add wizard nonsense to all of your areas.
Yay!
Wizard nonsense.
Yeah, wizard nonsense. Now, I am thinking that we do, like, there are, like, locations I will be working with. I do want to have the Bitter Phenomenon's house somewhere. Where, who knows? It probably changes from week to week. But basically, when I do say wizard nonsense, I do mean nonsense. No one should take this wizarding seriously. Just a whole bunch of gremlins doing magic. And by magic, we mean question mark. It's possibly magic. It might just be nonsense. Who knows? But I'm thinking, as far as, like, locations are concerned, there probably is some sort of wizarding school-ish thing, a place of study.
Academy.
Yeah, some sort of academy. But it's not going to be a sensible academy. Are you familiar with the Sideways Stories from Wayside School books? The Wayside School. So the Wayside School was a book series. I want to say it was first published in, like, the late 80s into the 90s. And the premise is that it's a very weird school, starting from its inception, where the floor plan was supposed to be one floor with 30 classrooms next to each other. But apparently the architect turned sideways, and they ended up with a 30-floor building with one room on each floor. And the nonsense just continues from there. So I'm thinking whatever building they use as, like, a main academy or whatnot is just architectural nonsense that would make just any mathematician or architect cry on the inside, possibly outside.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good leaning shape.
Yeah.
A person with a very long neck.
Yeah, we're gonna
well,
fix that
yeah, could be a salamander friend.
Who knows? I
Salamander
tend to be
Also,
a
wizard.
you can
wizard
make them
who imagines
smaller.
themselves to have a very long neck.
Yeah, they're trying to do a spell to make them see further, and that's what happened.
Make them even tinier. This
It
is
was
just
very funny.
a massive nonsense building.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I didn't go with
Awesome.
my massive nonsense building idea.
But yeah, as far as like location is main location is concerned, we can start with that. But I'm thinking there's just also nonsense buildings all over the place, and or just local wizard. Now, whether the wizard is thematically appropriate or not, who knows? Honestly, I think it's funnier if some of them are very much not. Like, who knows? Maybe
course.
there is a frog wizard living in the caves, but also there might be I don't know, maybe on the sea harbor, in the harbor area, there's a wizard, a local wizard who lives there, but actually they are more suited to living in a desert.
Mhm.
Yeah, the placement got messed up. It's fine. It was an administrative error.
I do imagine this like weird like wizard tower, like very big, very strange, shouldn't be possible architecturally, and it's just in like this very normal grasslands. Like it's very normal, very flat grassland with some trees and so there's a few sheep grazing and whatever, and then there's just this fucking stupid building in the middle of it.
I like that.
Oh, good too.
That is actually really funny. It's just in the middle of this farm area, which is
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got these so much in Europe, in the UK, but in the Western United States, we've got windmill farms, which mainly means that people rented out part of their fields, and you just got a bunch of giant windmills, and then you've got the field underneath it with like crops and whatnot. So yeah, I can imagine it's just kind of like, oh, it's
Just some
we've
farmers
got the wizard
around.
tower out, like some farmer rented out part of their farm, and now the wizard tower is just using that for now. Well, that's even funnier if like the wizard tower moves, because it's like, oh, we're renting the plot of land for the wizard tower, and we just move the wizard tower
Yeah.
wherever we've got area to.
Wherever the lease is cheapest, it moves around.
Or they never pay.
Also,
Because they move.
just
Yeah.
this farmer who rented like their land to this wizard tower, and they just treat the like wizards as like this local like pest or whatever. Like, oh no, the wizard's got to my crops again. Now all my crops are dancing.
Get your own potion ingredients.
Start putting fences around with like wizards keep out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very much going for a soft magic system here. Basically, they can do whatever is funniest at the time.
No wizards.
I love that. Oh, wizards.
I like the idea that every exit to the field has that sign, so they're just in their tower.
I mean, also they just don't care.
Yeah.
There's probably a wizard who can't read and just goes off.
I mean, for the most part, and I don't know if this is your experience as well, Chris, but most academics that I know are just a bunch of feral weirdos.
Yep.
So
Can
I am
confirm.
imagining where it's like wizards are not really any different. Yeah, some of them might have like majestic titles or anything, but you spend like 5 minutes with them and you realize they're just a feral weirdo.
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember it's not a not a spectacular story, but it just really set the tone when I all the way through my sort of undergraduate uni course. You know, you're an undergraduate. Everybody else in the building is smarter than you and knows much more than you do, and like, oh god, and you're sort of intimidated by the whole thing. When I first started my masters, on the first day of it, there's a sense that you've moved up a notch, but you're still not quite there, and everyone is still sort of like untouchable in a sense. But they were trying to do their best to sort of make everybody feel, you know, you can start talking to us as you know, more than just the people who know everything. But the very first meeting I had with all the master's students and the person in charge of the master's course, the professor that sort of came in and gave us a talk, we all sat in this room, and he got a chair, like an armchair sort of thing that was in the room, and he sat down in it, and he slouched down in it so far it honestly looked like he was just going to fall onto the floor. And that's just how he sat for the entire thing. And I've never seen like a less professional start to anything. And he was just like, right, I can relax now. And it's just like the posture of a kind of like, yeah, just like an orangutan stuck in an armchair or something. And it's just like, yeah, these people are just, they're not the untouchable, all-knowing, all-perfect people you think they are. They're just a bunch of feral weirdos.
Mm.
And it's fine. Sorry, that story probably doesn't really work until you can actually visualize the way he was sitting in this chair. It was just, yeah.
So good.
I've never seen a teacher not standing up at the whiteboard and only sitting like on the edge of their seat.
I have, I think, yeah.
Sorry, I'm drawing the chair. Cool. We have awkward, nonsensical wizard tower academy
Sounds great. I love it.
thing.
And feel free to add more. I'm sure there are more awkward wizard. I don't even know what we'd call a collection of wizards. Or it might just be an individual wizard that has set up shop somewhere. So it's like we have an individual wizard who lives, I don't know, who's set up a house on the side of the viaduct. Why do they live there? Nobody knows. What are they doing there? You don't want to know.
Don't worry about it.
Are they to do with the cult? Probably.
Maybe. Oh.
They be in every zone.
They've probably
I'm
got some
thinking any
interaction.
zone where it makes sense for there to be life, or even no life. Who knows? It could just be you walk into an area and it's like, oh, there's a local wizard who is essentially like. So I don't think you guys have national parks a lot where you are, but in the United States we've got national parks, and there's usually a park ranger that's in charge of an area, and they usually just live on the park. So if you're driving through these woods and you're lost, and then suddenly there's just a house there, manned by someone who maybe sees people every 3 months when they go into town to dump off their trash.
It sounds very fun.
So who knows? We could go into the depths of the cave and there's just a wizard living in there for reasons. Who knows? They haven't seen the light of day in ages. Yeah. They may not know how to speak human words anymore. Or salamander words, even.
Oh, there are definitely some
feral weirdo who's been living in a cave.
There's definitely a bunch of wizards bothering the salamander people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was thinking that maybe they could like pop in and out of each zone if it was convenient, if we needed them after we met them for the first time, where they're like all feral and weird and don't speak and all that. But then if we like need to stock up on potions or something, maybe they could like pop up in a random store at the harbor or at like all of these places where
that's sort of what I was thinking as far as like game mechanics wise. Who all is familiar with Majora's Mask?
I am.
Somewhat.
Okay. Okay, I'm thinking they sort of fill the role as both shopkeep and then also sort of Tingle's role in that, which is a weird sentence to say.
Oh no,
Um,
Tingle Wizard.
where basically it's like if you need someone who knows just really obscure information that may or may not be useful to you about the area, here's the local feral wizard. You need to stock up on magic potions that may or may not be helpful to you. Here's the local feral wizard.
I like that.
You want to upgrade your material. Here's the local feral wizard. Good luck. This particular one has an expertise in upgrading kitchenware, so have fun with your ladle of doom now.
So
That
okay,
sounds fun.
everyone's zone gets a feral wizard.
Yeah.
That's something we've ascertained.
Absolutely.
Design your feral wizard.
Oh, that's fun.
And as far as I kind of want it to be the case where these might have been normal people, but just doing magic just does something to you, makes you feraler and weirder. Sort of like going into academia, you start out normal and then you end up blathering about things that don't exist.
Yeah,
So somewhere in there is probably a person, possibly, but now they're just sort of a feral wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're so old and wise and has done magic for so long, much longer than the like magicians of the city or whatever. The measly like magic doers or whatever.
Yeah, they do things commercially. Like, you know, they're not in it for the knowledge, the understanding. Knowing
I mean,
things
I'm not even
beyond...
sure if you need to be all that old to become a feral wizard. I know plenty of graduate students who were just sort of in their mid-20s where it's just kind of like, I see the academia feralness has bitten into you.
I see your future. You do not want me to tell you about it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are people in this universe who use magic who aren't wizards. Sort of like there are people who know how to do mathematics who are not feral academic.
Yeah, sure.
But that's one of those things of like, if you say wizard, people know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The word feral is unnecessary. It's implied.
Yeah, exactly. If you're talking about a person who does magic and isn't feral, you're not gonna use the word wizard.
Yeah. Magician works.
Magician work.
Wizard. It in that sense, I guess the wizard is a bit ironic, given that it comes from wise. So maybe
they might be wise, but also they're feral.
all things considered, with all of the people that I know, the more you learn, the weirder you get. So they could be very wise. They're just also feral and incomprehensible because nobody knows what the heck they're talking about.
This feels very sort of Dark Souls Bloodborne-y. Like, you know, the acquisition of knowledge, you know, gets you further removed from humanity. And then you turn into Big Hat Logan and you run around naked, casting spells at people for no reason.
As you do.
Because you read too many books.
It's also a bit like what's
yes, but we're going to make it silly instead of horrifying.
Yeah.
You're saying Big Hat Logan running around naked isn't silly? He's still got his big hat. That's all he's got.
Big hat's important.
Sorry, you were gonna say?
It's a bit like the what's it called? The concept of like cursed with knowledge. That the more you know, the less you can imagine you known the things you know.
Yeah.
And so it's harder to be able to explain these things because you assume that people are gonna know what you know.
I have two perfect examples for this sort of phenomenon. One is an XKCD picture, and one
I was just about to find that.
Graduation. Hold on. Well, while I look for the XKCD picture, I could probably explain to you the graduation one. So, At the school I teach at, we have an undergraduate research program that most students don't mess with because it's research stuff and it's pretty intense, and most do not want to mess with that. But some people do. And every year there's like a handful, like usually around 4 between all of the departments. And a lot of the time it's like sort of simple stuff. So like this last year, there was one student who did a research project about sort of performance anxiety with freshman music majors. And it's like, okay, it's an actual research thing. So there's an actual research title that goes with it. And the title of their research project gets read off at graduation. And when it's stuff like, oh, it's been research on performance anxiety with freshman music majors, that's sort of easy to read off. Except this year, one of the undergraduate research projects was done by a chemist who was working with one of our chemists who has a background in both physical chemistry and also quantum computing. And our poor vice president of academic affairs was trying to, who has a background in education, in ed administration stuff, worked in education, was trying to read off the name of the project, and you could tell every single word was a struggle, and she had no idea what any of it meant.
Oh.
And she is a very smart lady who's been working in higher ed for a very long time, but you could tell that this was very out of her wheelhouse, and every word coming out of her mouth, she was like, I'm not sure if this is how this is pronounced. I'm not sure what this means. I'm just going to go with it.
I mean, what was it? It was a combination of chemistry and quantum computing? Like, there's a lot going on there.
Like, I could probably find the name, because we have all of the research, mentored research stuff archived, so I could probably find the name of the paper if I looked hard enough. It's just gonna take a little bit. But yeah, it's like it was a very long title, and it, like, every single word that came out of her mouth, you could tell that she was very unsure if she was even pronouncing it correctly, and was very unsure if what she was saying was even a word.
On the other hand, sometimes you have people so far in their field that they just forget that some words have other meanings. So, you know, I've seen papers about, like, you know, serious mathematical papers called like lumps on two spheres, and the properties of Titz cones and stuff like that. And it's just like, are you aware? Or
Probably. I mean, I hope they are and that they're doing it on purpose. That's what I'm hoping for.
I know enough academics to know that that's not always a thing you can assume.
No, it's why I said I'm hoping for it.
yeah, I'll put the XKCD thing in the Discord. You get so buried in a particular subject.
That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah, I knew what one you were going to say because I thought of exactly the same thing. Yeah. So wizards. I'm also liking this little thing. We do seem to be going for a more vertical world design thing, which I quite like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, all things considered, it might be interesting for us to, like, geographically have sort of a limited area rather than having like, oh, it's a massive world you can explore. No, this is a small geographic area on the wider world. It's just that there's a lot of weird stuff going on here.
Yeah, we've got
far more likely to be an island than a continent.
Yeah, we got. You can see the continent in the distance, but we're just the island off the side of it. Maybe the viaduct connects the two, but you just never go there because one of the towns that was built on the side of the viaduct collapsed and is blocking the way.
And there's just permanently a person there, like, we're clearing the way.
Yeah.
Because you keep saying that he never see him do any work.
Yeah, like there's just this like 50-foot high pile of rubble, and they're just sweeping the same spot over and over again.
They're sweeping, yes.
Just this one old man just. We'll get there. This is an
Don't you
important
worry.
trade route. Yeah. So, Kiro,
Yeah.
do you have your zone?
Maybe. I think so. Possibly. Yeah. Like my first idea was actually my second idea was kind of coastal. My first idea was
It would fit.
like Dark's floating city that was ruined. So
Ooh.
not that.
We could have two.
And then no, it's all good. I was also inspired by Castle in the Sky, and this is also one of my favorite dungeons from Twilight Princess. But and then I started thinking about uh an area in another video game that was kind of like ruins that were lost from the rest of the world. Like they're just kind of stuck in their own. Like something happened, and it was time conflux, and they were just like frozen in time. So I was kind of thinking
Ooh.
of something like that because it was pretty fun, and it was like a advanced civilization that was just ruined, and they just had it was just populated only by like ghosts and automatons and stuff because the people that live there are long gone. Um, and not sure I want to do that necessarily, but maybe a little bit kind of like that. I'm now thinking, and then like all day today, I've been thinking about um, like a forest. Um, so I'll add a little bit of verticality as well. And I was thinking of like a deep forest where that like deep in the center of it there are some long lost ruins, I think, but they're overgrown and uh, no one really knows like where they are or what kind of knowledge was lost or what's there. But uh, on like the but people do like live on the outer edges of the forest, like uh, it's kind of lost woods but they've learned to adapt, they've learned paths, and they the people who live there know like they uh, forage for like food and in game and stuff. They help with the commerce and but I just I'm so nervous.
No,
It's
that's fine.
okay.
But like they're not completely cut off from the world. Like and there's that your aqueduct, and like they will uh, uh help feed like the rest of the area, but um but they know not to go like too deep into the forest because it's very easy to get lost, and
Yeah.
who knows what's like sleeping in there or what could be found in there. But there are like there might be some adventurers who decide to go in and explore, and just whether or not they're seen again is yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So fun, sort of mysterious, foresty sort of thing.
Yeah,
I feel
Yes,
like
it sounds like
I don't know.
the people are living at sort of the outskirts of the forest,
Yeah,
and it's like if you
yeah,
go further in, that's where the ruins are, and there's a reason those are ruins.
yeah.
well, there's
And there's a reason why we're on the outskirts, not the inside.
that's a good reason. It's a good A good thing that not only did I not do my jumbled, mixed up tower place, but I also didn't do the town around it, which gets more confusing and easy to get lost the closer you get to the middle. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think it maybe worth like combining the two. That the thing in the middle of this forest is like that future civilization that got sort of stuck in time and just the ghosts and robots.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
their
That's what
city
I
is
was
just sort
kind
of
of thinking of. Kind of
yeah.
like I'm not sure if I should keep the time shenanigans stuff, but
I
I
mean, we've
was
already
kind
got
of thinking
Skyro.
that.
We've got
Huh?
Sky robots, so
Oh,
you know, yeah.
I
In
haven't
Dark
played
Swan, we've
that
got
yet.
people, yeah, people grafting machined limbs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
There,
yeah.
there is also something just really cool aesthetically about like very futuristic techno machines and everything like very uh, not really cyberpunky but like cyber future things and then just nature reclaiming it
yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking that too. I couldn't find the words, but yeah, I was thinking that like what's in the center of the forest or where the nature overtook things is yeah, the
oh, I like.
ruins, ancient civilization, whatever that was kind of advanced, but like something cataclysmic happened, something happened, and they had to evacuate or something, but their technology, knowledge, all that, uh, or most of them were lost basically, and like yeah, nature kind of reclaimed it and just yeah, grew.
I like that. I like that idea of like. I'm struggling to think if I've ever actually seen it before. Of like, I've seen like nature reclaiming like old ruins and things like that. But I've never seen like I'm thinking specifically of like a robot, but with like moss growing
Yeah,
over it and like a small tree growing out of its like arm socket or
yeah,
something. Just like
yeah.
I feel like that's a really cool
Kind of thinking
aesthetic.
of that. Yeah.
I feel like I've like seen it somewhere before, but I cannot remember where. I have
Oh,
a
I
yeah.
can
very
think of
specific image in
one
mind for
place I know of where you've got a theme like that. The Etrian Odyssey games are a dungeon crawler
Oh
not
yeah.
what I'm
series,
thinking of.
Yeah.
and one of the things in it is there is a you've got this like fantasy story thing, like sort of typical looking area, and then as you're exploring through the caverns and whatnot, there's one area where it's just kind of like, this is a sci-fi thing. There's a
Hmm.
ye old computer in here with an AI, and none of us know what the heck is going on because this stuff is really, really old. And it turns out that the main storyline is happening like hundreds and hundreds of years after some sort of apocalyptic event. And it's like, oh my.
Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Just a big forest where it's ruins that were overgrown in the middle and lost knowledge. Who knows what the hell is there? Um, and then like people have kind of learned to live in the forest on the outskirts, and they're trying. Like some of them are trying to learn the secrets deeper in the forest, but um, it's very slow going because it's very easy to get lost.
Yeah, I bet the
And
wizards
of
are
course, there's a
definitely
feral wizard
nosing.
somewhere. Yes,
Yeah, the
deep in the
wizards are definitely
forest. He
nosing
knows
their
what's
way in
going
there.
on. No, no.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah,
That's got some potential. I like that.
thanks.
Cool. The only one that is outstanding at the moment is we don't have Oobs' one.
Mhm.
But I feel like I have an idea as to how this helpfully somewhere on mountain. Hopefully we have Christie's map going on here.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good map.
Oops, sorry, what was that?
No.
Sorry, you're very quiet then. What was that?
If it is just an idea to make things make sense, it's not something I want to impose on y'all.
No, it's fine. Also, you're a bit muffled, so.
Yeah, your microphone might be covered. I don't know.
The internet.
No. Okay.
Microphones, honestly. Yeah, I kind of have, because it very much seems like there's not a lot of vast flat land going on here. So
Yeah.
we've got a kind of nice winding vertical kind of world, defined by like the extents of the abyss below, the floating city above. Yeah, I can imagine there's a kind of spirally sort of feel to this, and there's like the big forest sort of around it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting an idea here. Ooh,
Ooh.
fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
It's interesting. I've never really seen that sort of imagery before.
I like
Fun.
the idea. I like it. Kind of inspired by like my yard, because there's always so much grass and stuff growing on my driveway and stuff. And it's just
Oh yeah, I've
D-
I've driven through many a small area or small town or small homestead area where it's like, well, that was a building. It
Yeah.
belongs to the grass
Yeah.
now.
There's quite a few buildings in my city where it's just like you drive by and there's like ivy and foliage and greenery all around it, all over the building now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of something I liked a
Yeah.
little bit. And I like the idea that even after um civilizations have moved on, that things still grow and live and thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trees are doing great.
Yeah, trees are fine.
Not. I don't know if it is exactly what I was thinking of, but it is something that came to mind, which is from Guild Wars 2. It's not like completely the technology being taken over by Green, but it is like kind of coexisting in a way.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
From Guild Wars 2.
That's
There's
neat.
this race of very like technology, like value technology, and that's kind of what their world looks like.
Yeah. That, but they've buggered off. That's
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Went
just
off
drew a
to do something else. Mm.
cool. I'm getting a clearer. This I will say quite happily right now. This world bears no relation to what I thought it would at all. So that's part of the fun.
Glad.
It's good. Okay, cool. So yeah, what to do with all?
Yeah.
Some fun. Yeah, I don't know. Let's got half an hour. Let's doodle. Let's do some stuff. What are we gonna? I've just been doodling some things down the bottom.
Yeah. I like
Frog
it.
My
Wizard,
first time
Tree Robot.
seeing Agio, so I'm still looking at the controls and
Oh,
stuff.
right, yeah. Well, feel free to just mess around and doodle. I made a big canvas so everyone can just do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And you could
yeah,
always make more layers and turn stuff off. So you should have started with a layer, but there is an add layer button on the right hand side at the bottom. It's it looks like a sheet of paper with the top right corner folded over that adds a new layer under your
I see
control.
it. Yeah, I see it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
on a particular layer of yours, you click on the eyeball to hide the layer or show a hidden layer. So there, I've hidden my layer, and now it's shown again.
Yeah. Yeah, I started with layer 7, but I'm just looking at the controls and stuff.
Yeah, feel
And
free to
there
just...
is a size scalar bit that affects how wide your dots are.
Yeah, I lowered it to like 6 or so, or 8. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want it to be too big.
And then the zoom magnifying glasses are at the top. There should be a little hand on the left-hand side near the bottom. You can use that to drag the screen around if you want to move to a different part of the screen without drawing lines all over the screen.
Yeah, I can't access the stuff on the left side. I found. I don't know why, but
Huh.
that's okay. I'm on the iPad version, so it might be different.
Ah, might be slightly different then, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just doodling a vague idea of what I imagine this landscape is going to be.
That's good.
Is for reference.
I like how we have the mountain, and then we have, I'm assuming that's the wizard tower that's just poking up and all weird shaped.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just some grassland somewhere.
Yeah, there's like grasslands around the back, probably. And we're sort of, most of this sort of takes place, I guess, in and around the coast. And then obviously sort of below the water, there's all sort of thing going on. And then there's like the abyss with all the flashy things. And then there's Chib's cave area will be around there. Around the back, maybe. It's sort of somewhat isolated. Again, I'm literally just scribbling. None of these shapes need to make sense.
They do make sense though.
That'll be the port town next to the viaduct. Which, with current estimations, really does seem like it's almost entirely over water. So the whole fishing village idea might be the only thing that it does. But the legs do extend below water, so if...
Could be just like, like a...
I mean, it could
island.
also be connected to the cities in the abyss.
Yeah.
So if you've got towns at various depths, maybe they've just sort of like, maybe they're just sort of like glued to the viaduct, as it were, instead of just free floating.
Yeah. Some little cool underwater cities attached to these like pillars.
That could be fun. See, this is already better than anything in Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls 2 or Elden Ring. I was worried actually because I had this idea in mind before I started playing Elden Ring, and then I started playing Elden Ring, and there are viaducts bloody everywhere. And I was like, oh no, are they going to actually do something with it? No, they just use them as bridges.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, such cool ideas you can have. Did I share a picture of London Bridge? I should have. I'm not sure if this is relevant anymore now that we have sort of like a port town, but just this idea of...
I mean, there can also be more areas too that we all just...
Oh yeah,
I mean, we
there are
could
unspecified
add more
zones.
areas to the wheel beyond just the one each one of us has.
Yeah, like
maybe I should add...
plains, there could be farmland, there could be...
I could add a free space to the wheel. So one person each time will get free space, and then you can make something around the zones that we have.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, also like if this is gonna be an island, there's gonna be like beaches and stuff. So like, you know,
Well,
makes sense to have.
There might not be beaches. There's plenty of coastal places where it's just like, rock face.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
true,
true,
but
very
still,
true.
like, you never know.
Like, look at that disaster. Just
Oh wow. Yeah, that is a disaster.
Yeah.
That was should probably specify for the sake of historical reference. For the longest time, that was the only bridge in London.
Oh
Oh
jeez.
my god.
There's a massive river going right the way through. Well, it's not massive, but it's pretty big enough that you can't wade it. And for reasons for political reasons, basically, they had a bridge, and that was it. That's all you got. And so it was just a really, really good place to try and sell things to people because everyone walked across it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hence all the boats. It's like we need another way of getting across.
Yeah. God, that bridge must have been so busy. Just all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was one of the other issues of building all the buildings on it. Is like you're narrowing the walkway. That's you're cramming even more people into a narrower
Yeah.
path.
Oh yeah. It's rough living in a place where like downtown is on one side of a river and then residences and stuff are on the other side of the river. There's 2 rivers, big rivers in my hometown, and it's like that. And there's a few bridges, and they're always like extremely crowded. Rush hour is just rush hours. But yeah.
Yeah, so my
it's
mom's
rough.
from the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and we now live in the center. And she always finds it funny when people complain about rush hour because it's like, at least you're moving.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a high bar.
Yeah, that's a parking lot. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast too, and yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I'm now intrigued as to because I should probably specify like subsequent weeks we're gonna have like spin the wheel and everyone gets prompts and stuff. But I haven't made the wheel yet because I didn't know what everyone's zones would be.
Mhm.
And which that's the point actually. I need to make an icon for all of your zones, so that's going to be
We could use
fun to
more of
try
this
and work
time to
with.
sort of design an icon for each of our areas.
Yeah, that's the thing we could do. Just make a simple little icon. But yeah, so like this week's prompt is just going to be, hey, you know roughly how your area fits in this world now. Sort of try and come up with some sort of ideas as to how these things interact. So like for example, Dark has this idea of like, where is it? Yes, till recently things have been travelling down from the city, from his flying city, strange creatures of metal and flesh riding flying machines, raiding and pillaging before returning to their city. So Dark now knows what they're raiding, like, and this might be like the source of sort of primary concern that is the sort of, the impetus for whoever our hero is to do things, is that now, suddenly robots from the sky are attacking.
Yeah.
Also, we should probably think about who the protagonist is at some point.
What, this isn't a story about the NPCs?
It might be.
Yeah, it is interesting to think about how all these things would fit into a game.
Yeah. Because this is an action adventure game. So the hero, whoever they are, or hero, I guess hero, travels around to all these zones and has this gameplay and puzzles and MacGuffins and mechanics, skills or whatever.
And feral wizards you can learn magic from, though do you
Exactly.
really want to?
At your own, you could learn magic at your own peril.
You will become feral.
You will learn magic.
There's a hidden feral meter.
There's a feral meter.
Oops, all feral.
One day you
Oh,
too will
okay.
be ranting about nonsense that no one knows what you're talking about because nobody cares. Which is pretty much how it is talking to an academic about their field of expertise. It's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you sure do have a lot of opinions about it.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is going to be Dark City might have a crack at trying to map this place out, which is going to be interesting given how vertical everything is. Um,
It's possible,
Hey.
though. Just have a vertical map.
he made a floating city. That's his problem. He set the bar very high, quite literally. Although I am deliberately drawing this in such a way that his floating city is not the highest thing.
Yeah.
Well, Lewis's thing is above the clouds, so yeah. And it's kind of funny because, like, I've played a video game with a floating city, and it actually is on the map. It's just this icon that whenever you enter a city and leave, enter a location and leave it, and whenever you look at the world map, the dot is just in another part of the area. It's just constantly moving. But,
Oh, there is that in FF9, isn't there?
yeah, I think
The
so.
floating chocobo thing just
Yeah.
drifts around and you find it as a shadow on the world map. And you can
Mhm.
fly up
Yeah,
to it.
that's the Chocobo Paradise place where you find
Yeah.
the giant disco ball marble thing.
Ah, best super boss. It's
Is he?
literally a rubber bouncy ball.
Yeah, it's best and worst because you could just sort of tell where it's just kind of like there sure is a lot going on here, but also there's not a lot going on here.
Yeah. I
Very
like it.
true.
It's my favorite super boss because it has that exact effect of like, what are you?
Yeah.
Like
It's
if you're making a super boss, usually they make it big, muscly, scary monster with big teeth and
no, it's just a colorful ball.
all those things. And no, it's just a sphere.
Yep.
It's just a sphere.
Just a weird bouncy ball. The disco ball of doom.
Mhm.
That, if you are not very, very careful, will kill you very, very easily.
I am trying to think of like, because I don't know what the protagonist is gonna be like, obviously, but like, what would be like the best starting area? Because all our areas were so weird.
I mean, do we really want to? Do we want this to be a Zelda type game where there's like a particular protagonist, or do we want this to be more
Hmm.
Souls like where it's just you make a character? Because there's plenty of RPGs out there where it's like, oh, we have this world going on, and you make your character like Dragon Age, where it's like there's a
Yeah.
story going on, but you make your warden or your uh, herald or your hawk, depending on the game you're playing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
So we could just leave it as we're making the things that like this is what's happening when you get there. Because I know there was one DM GM uh, whose work I follow who posted a thing where it's just kind of like one set of advice to me for anyone who's running a game is figure out what's going to be happening before, like what would have happened if your players weren't there. So like you've
Yeah.
basically like the NPCs are running off of just their normal stuff. What would have happened if the player character was not there at all? And then you sort of work from there. So like don't try and like, oh, here's what I'm going to do if the players do this, because players are sometimes unpredictable. figure out what would have happened if the players weren't there at all, and then you can work from there. So we could just build up here's all of the things that were happening before the player character shows up, and then the player character can just do shenanigans.
Yeah, that is
Sense.
also fun. Especially if this is gonna be probably more like NPC heavy, generally speaking, because that's the way Project Via is designed, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Uh,
feels to pull in another game. This feels more like with your Skyrims, where it's like there's a lot of things going on, and you could either interact with it or ignore it and run off to be feral in the woods and become an assassin and climb a mountain on a horse.
yeah, exactly.
To be fair,
Yeah.
that's true about Elden Ring as well now. So there's some good Skyrim horsing in that game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also from what I've seen, the horses just sort of bounce on their own. With Skyrim, I'm pretty sure you aren't intended to be able to climb a mountain on a horse. You just can, because Skyrim is a well-programmed game.
Oh no, there's definitely like bits where you are like vertically, like you skip areas by walking, 85 degrees up. 85 degrees from horizontal, I guess. So yeah, it's not many, to be fair, because most of the game is broken by a glitch that just causes you to just teleport 500 miles away. So you don't even need Skyrim horses.
And it also, this way of doing things allows for like a hypothetical player to just have to deal with the consequences of their own actions, essentially. Like in
Ooh.
Skyrim, if you decide, you can like decide to turn this NPC into like a sweet bun or whatever, sweet roll. But if you do decide to do that and then you eat that sweet roll and then you cannot finish a quest because you turned that important NPC into a sweet roll and ate him, that's on you.
I like that's how the example that's the example you came up with. Like,
Yeah, I would have gone with the NPC died via dragon, because that happens a lot.
no, you turn them into a sweet
Because
roll.
some NPCs just do
It's
not have.
this very specific Tumblr post about Skyrim that I have
Oh
in my
right,
head at all times.
should have guessed it was Tumblr.
Yeah,
It's always
or
something.
that happened to someone. Like they decided to do that and then they couldn't finish the last quest for the Thieves Guild or something like that.
I think I might have seen that post. I don't know.
I think it is a pretty like famous post, so.
Nice.
Tumblr famous.
This is a very pretty map, Chris. Very pretty designs.
I'm just trying to
Layout.
sketch something out. It's not quite. We'll work it out. It's fine. Also, I'm doing it very small. Oh, hey, look at that. Little port town
Yeah, that's
with
cute.
a little fisher friend.
Look at that, Christy.
I think I need to refresh the page. Something went a little screwy.
Yeah, that happens occasionally. Oh, Christy is a robot. For me, anyway.
Yeah, for me.
me too.
No! Robot Christy. Gosh darn.
Why are there fireworks going off now?
Because everybody's celebrating the start of Project Via.
Yeah, apparently.
The main problem with doing a map like this is that how do you draw a city in a cave with an external map?
Nope.
Oh, you weren't even talking. Oh, sorry.
I mean, you could always just draw a hole and then an arrow pointing at it going here.
I was sort of through this city just on a floating platform. I'm going to assume there's actually like a rock or something. The land extends. Oh, we've all been robots. Oh no. They did say, actually, I set this up to be a big canvas. They did say that a big canvas might be very laggy, so maybe that's draining your internet or something. We can do a smaller one next time. Oh, here we are. If you have a question, the depths of depravity available to you in Skyrim, please refer to this story. I'm unable to finish the Thieves Guild quest because I accidentally killed an essential quest NPC, Erica in Solitude. You probably know him because his sister won't shut up about it. Erica was the last quest giver you needed to become the master of the Thieves Guild. He's supposed to be essential and he cannot be killed ever because he's the most NPC... because important NPC is important. So where is he, I hear you asking? He's gone. Gone into my character's tummy. Was falling around with the glorious weapon that is the Wabberjack, and I happened to turn him into a sweet roll. Nice. Of course it was the Wabberjack. I feel like we can lean into that in this because we have feral wizards everywhere, so there's just going to be all sorts of Wabberjacks.
Just the most specific, like, useless magical items.
That's great.
Welcome to the Wabberjack Academy.
I'm putting a hat on top of this building because why not?
Oh yeah, there's got to be a hat.
Yeah, it's a wizard's tower.
Yeah.
Obviously. Someone, a wizard made a
Absolutely.
wizard hat for the wizard tower.
I am now slightly getting... It acts like a windsock as well. I'm now slightly getting the impression that the wizards are on this island because no one on the mainland wants them there. So...
I mean, that or the rent on the main island, on the main continent, was just far too high.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can really get rid of the wizards unless they, like, go along with it.
True, yeah. Can't really kick them out.
What are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna try and destroy the wizard's tower? How? They're wizards. They're gonna turn
Also,
you
they'll
into a sweet roll and eat you.
Consume. Yeah.
I advise not eating anything in the cafeteria in that building.
No.
It's just like fields. Around there, some beaches, and then that leads onto the forest. Maybe the forest
Also,
is
considering
why...
the scale I've got of the person at the bottom of this tower, this is a huge hat.
Yes,
Oh yeah, it's an absolutely massive hat.
it has to fit the building.
It is to scale for the building.
Yeah.
For all you know, the building is also a wizard.
Listen,
Maybe.
it might be that a wizard decided to say fuck it and turn themselves into a building one day. Who knows?
Maybe. You can't put it past them.
It's entirely possible.
I mean, there could also be something about this particular island that makes things weird, as it were.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it's got something to do with the whole time anomaly thing going on with the Kiro's zone. Because I happened to put the tower next to the forest, but maybe that's why they're here. Maybe that's the thing they're interested in.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe maybe there's something with the ruins in the forest. Maybe that's connected to something with the floating city. Possibly also the divine city.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know what's going on with them.
yeah, there could be some very deep lore there.
See, this is why you don't come with fully formed ideas, and we can just sit here and chat nonsense until something interesting happens.
We're gonna just keep throwing spaghetti at the wall until the noodles are done.
We should have called this Project Spaghetti, really.
Project Spaghetti.
Project Spaghetti.
Project Spaghetti.
But yes, I would again like to reiterate that the via, the name of the project came before deciding to use a viaduct, so this was not called Project Via for the viaduct.
But the
I
fire,
didn't
it's called
even
fire
put those together until just now.
Yeah.
It's the Via Via.
It's the Via Via,
Yeah.
let's call the whole thing off. Villages. I kind of just also want to draw buildings in the port town because it just looks nice. Like Christy's little doodle down here, it just looks pleasant.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks very pleasant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
No,
sketch
no,
doodle doodle
sorry, it's
sketch.
good.
All sorry. It's definitely not Fantasy Copenhagen. No, it's look. You take inspiration from what's around you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you take inspiration from the cities around you. Sometimes you take inspiration from the things that are growing in your front lawn.
Sometimes you
Some-
take inspiration from your
In
feral
backyard.
coworkers.
And sometimes you
Yeah.
take inspiration from the games that you think could have done better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Big inspirations from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fun,
sometimes
fun
you take
lizard friends.
inspiration from your friend rambling about the game he's been playing for the past month.
Look.
Because I kind of drifted away from that, but that's why I initially wanted the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
You kept talking about the galaxy cave.
yeah. Underground space room.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we've kind of, like, hybridized the cave and the abyss. And we do have, like, underground space.
Yeah.
It's just space is underwater now. And the
Yeah,
cave
exactly.
is this cool lakey thing. I just... I can just see nice pieces of art for all of these locations. And it's annoying me I don't have time to spend making that nice piece of art.
Sure.
I like it, because, like, already all of these places have their own feel. And I like that, because I was worried we were gonna get 4 swamps. You know what I mean?
And we didn't get any.
Well, we haven't
that
heard
would
Oobs's
Not
yet.
really.
So much water.
Oobs did
Not really.
threaten swamp, so we might still have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just
I mean, it still
natural,
works with our
you know?
locations, though. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I don't
I
think
mean,
there's
in a
anything
place with so much water, there's bound to be a swamp somewhere.
naturally. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's
exciting.
I think that's a fine introduction. Is there anything else anyone wants to add? I need to come up with logos as well. That's a thing we should do. But little icons
Mm-hmm.
for your places. But yes, the prompt or lack of prompt, I guess, for this week is just like, hey, we can see the rest of the world now. Work out how your place interacts with it. Because I did this nice drawing here of like the thing going over a swamp and a desert and a forest and mountains, and we haven't got half of those things. So I just have to draw it going over water.
It's just on the mainland.
Yeah. It's there. It's just
This is on the
not the
other side of
focus.
the ocean. The bisexual ocean
Yeah,
abyss.
yeah. It's on the other side of the bisexual ocean abyss.
Yeah.
I never want to be on the other side of the bisexual ocean abyss.
No.
I want to be on this side.
I mean, it's a bisexual ocean abyss. You don't have to pick a side.
True. Good
Yeah.
point.
Very true.
Yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to do for this stream?
I don't know.
I do apologize if this stream was like sort of me putting people on the spot and saying, explain to the world.
Oh, it's all good.
Because again, this project is just supposed to be us having a good time. Save. Save. Don't worry, I save these files. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so I can also get the gallery up and running. I believe I have made a command of !via. There's no consistency in the way I pronounce that.
Be advised.
But that should take you to the gallery, which is at the moment not really there. There it works. All right.
Yay, it works.
There is also, as alluded to in that prompt, there is an exclamation mark "we" command, which will give the names of everybody doing this. Hopefully I've spelled your names right. The Plamps has another underscore on the end of the name. That's fine. I can sort that out. Yee. Okay. Prompt is you have world. Chibi, draw a salamander in a trench coat, not waistcoat. Also a waistcoat.
Yes. That I will do.
I'm going to try and interact. I feel like, yeah, the City of the Abyss and the port are probably where my viaduct's going to sort of interact. So I might mess around with that. Characters might be a good idea. Feral wizards. Design a feral wizard for your zone.
Yes.
Okay.
Design feral wizard.
Bunch of ideas. I'm going to get the gallery and the wheels ready for next time, and then we'll have prompts. If you have any specific like prompts that you want to put on the wheel, at the moment I have like characters and MacGuffins and items, locations, puzzles, lore, etc. If there's anything you think should be on there, let me know.
But you put a list of what's on the wheel currently in Discord, and then we can help fill in any gaps.
Yeah.
Can do. Yeah. I've set it up so that like some things can have a higher probability of being landed on. So like we should probably have more characters than MacGuffins and creatures rather than, I don't know. I think there's one just for bosses as well. We also have to work out what sort of game this is. I think it makes more sense to have a game where like your character can actually make choices as opposed to just you are Link and you save Hyrule.
Yeah.
It's definitely more of a Skyrim,
more open world.
Yeah.
Just
Dark Souls.
Yeah. You can do this and this and this side quest if you want, but you can also just, or you can do the main quest, but you can also just.
But it's more
just
fun
ignore
to
that.
just fuck around.
Yeah.
And find out.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc. That's your name. You're in the thing. You're part of this now. You can't leave.
Haha. Look at all this stuff.
There's stuff.
Right, Dark,
making a vertical map.
We've turned the world into an island.
Yeah, this is
it's
not
vertical.
an island. I kind of wanted this to be on an island anyway. It just worked out that way. We've got a lot of vertical stuff going on. Yeah. That's why the door's locked. You can't leave. Yeah,
we're
you got your
things now.
You got your floating sea
That won't
floating
work.
around here.
The lock's badly rusted.
No, the lock's badly rusted. That's all the seawater, the abyss water.
Abyss water. It's that bisexual ocean water.
I know. It's very rust prone.
Yep.
Very saline.
Gotta be more careful.
I do not have enough experience to make a joke like that. So yeah. And now the Dark's here, we can end the stream.
Dark, bye, Dark.
Hello, but we've got the places. We've got an underwater city in the abyss. We've got your flying city. We've got a divine city on top of a mountain made of gold and crystals. We have wizard nonsense, just in general. Glowing river cave, which is nice with salamander friends. Viaduct, big old plowing through everything. A forest with ruins and technology covered in vegetation and some sort of weird time anomaly, also space anomaly, Lost Woodsy kind of thing.
Possibly,
And Harbour Town.
And Harbour Town, Fantasy Copenhagen. Sorry, Copenhagen. However it's pronounced. Yeah, lots of stuff. And also whatever Oobs has.
Might be a swamp, who knows?
Yes, Oobs threatened a swamp, so sounds like a very ruined
Yeah, that's
world.
pretty much what we're figuring as well, Dark. Some sort of leftovers from something else. Something happened here a
Yeah.
long time ago, and we're dealing with the leftovers and the
It-
fallout. In some cases, literal falling.
It feels like really the port town and the abyss are the only places that are sort of doing all right.
Yeah.
The port town's mostly here just as a junction for things to come in and out, and the people in the abyss are just minding their own business, minding their own business.
Good for them.
Good for them. Yeah. So yeah, I will get all of the relevant things. I need to come up with a system to put text in the gallery because obviously a lot of people here aren't going to be doing drawings. I might just make pictures of the text, just make like a scroll or something. Do you have an idea what sort of tech and magic level we're at? Kind of a mix. Ragdoll said something like was it soft magic system of...
Yeah, I mainly just
Whatever
want
is the
nonsense with
funniest.
wizards. So
Yeah, nonsense with
Yeah.
wizards. And we do have like the ruins of some sort of technological civilization in the forest.
And your
Combined with
people
the
have, like,
technology in
mecha.
your
Yeah.
flying place. Copenhagen is not anything like Hagen. Yeah. I pronounced it wrong regardless. Hurrah. So yeah, we're just to sort of work. I feel like maybe it's one of those things where it's like the technology a while ago was pretty good, and then things went wrong, and now things are back to kind of relatively not primitive, but
Not
more.
Yeah,
primitive per
not
se, but it's
primitive.
definitely like it's less it's less technological advance, but you know
There's still
that
yeah.
doesn't mean anything when there's wizards about.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like the advancement of technology is not going to be as we understand it to be linear when you have wizards.
Yeah. What does it
Yeah.
matter when if you're like if there's mechanical constructs when a wizard can just turn you into a sweet roll?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Flying City was very advanced magic and tech, but it was also built on the back of slaves. Hooray! Backstory.
Yay!
Grim backstory.
Love to see it.
I mean, you can put as much grimdark stuff as you want into this dark. I'm still going to make ridiculous wizards.
You can do
Yeah.
both. That's what I've said before. I was always pointing to the Zelda of like this whimsical, happy-go-lucky place with chickens and people dancing around to music, and then right under their feet is a well full of horrifying zombies.
Yeah.
Tone can shift. That's not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes, again, the prompt for this week is this is the world. Work it out.
Let's make some roads and let's make some lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how does your place
Sounds
interact
simple.
with the rest? And let's try and work out the backstory for this thing. Yeah. You got 2 free spots on the Flying City, so there can be wacky sky pirate shenanigans. Yeah, that was my favorite part of your lore
Yeah.
description. Was the other
You
2?
see-
I don't
you
know.
figure it
Someone
out.
else figured that out, which is grand. I like the openness. And there's probably a cult in my aqueduct, so we can do something with that, I'm
Definitely.
sure.
Listen,
Mhm.
the viaduct aqueduct is definitely someone's god. I'm just saying.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of things from like the past going on.
Yeah.
We've got the Kiro's old civilization, we've got the old Flying City civilization, we've got whatever's going on with Lewis's one, we've got the aqueduct that's just sort of always been there. A lot of old.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why, as Dark said, it's like very remnants of the past, and people are just kind of like, taking it back. Or,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dealing with
yeah.
it.
We sort of started with that with yours, with the sort of there are ruins and people are just like, well, we'll live in those.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these salamander people are just like, I don't care whose house this was, it's mine now.
Maybe that's it. Maybe this for the longest time this place was just sort of there was nothing here, or this entire island was just like, yeah, no one goes there. But not that long ago, people started setting things up, and the port town's new as people start coming in to try and populate this place. And then the sky pirates come down. And things start going wrong. Wasn't sure on tone, so you wasn't sure of on the name for cyborg peeps. Nothing's named, it's fine.
Yeah.
The only things that are named for sure are the wizards. They're just
feral
wizards.
wizards.
If anyone
Feral
says
wizards.
wizards, you know exactly what they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There
the
are other
abyss.
magic users, but there's only like
Yeah. There's
Wizards
the
are
general
different.
the general concept of a magician, but then there's wizards.
Yeah. With a capital W.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 Z's probably.
Wizards, derogatory.
Yes. Perfect. The wretched. The wretched works. That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I should just call it the duct, actually, rather than viaduct, 'cause it's a viaduct and an aqueduct. Just call it the duct.
Yeah,
Sucks.
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like something a cult would.
Yeah.
take
Cult
one.
of the duck.
Mighty Duck.
Worship the duck.
Which sounds very close
No,
to the
there's going
Mighty
to be
Duck.
It does, yeah.
Side
Yeah.
quest where you're hunting down the cult of the duck, and then no, actually, this is the cult of the duck. We're really avid bird watchers here.
There also happens to be
next doors.
there
That's
also
the best
happens to
part.
be a giant duck in the aqueduct. It's just coincidental.
Oh mighty duct.
Which also happens to have a cult. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
All
one
them
isn't
together.
causing trouble though.
No, they're fine. They just want to pet the duck. That's all they want to do. Yeah, cool. I just want to make nice pictures of all of your places. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
It's a good
You did.
start. I'm kind of getting a feeling for the history of this place, but that's for us all to work out together.
Mhm.
And not today, because that's the end of Strim.
And it's from time.
End of Strim. Yee. So, thank you for being here.
Thank you
Yeah.
for all of this.
Yeah, it's fun.
No, thank you.
I'm excited.
No, you.
No, you. Yeah, I win. Oh no, Lewis is here. Oh no, we've got to go over it again.
Oh dear. Well, not a repeat.
Here's map of all. This is your city up there. And then there's the floating city, and then there's a feral wizard tower, and then there's Lost Woodsy space anomaly, and a port town, and a cool cave with salamanders, and a duct going through the whole thing, and underground bisexual ocean. Did I miss one? Might have missed one. There might be a swamp as well.
Fast.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
There is a lot to catch up on.
I'll put everything in the gallery so that people can have a look. I'll try and add descriptions to all of the pictures. If you click on the picture, you'll get a big picture of the picture. What? It'll zoom in on the picture, and you'll get a description at the bottom of who made it and a description of what's going on. So hopefully I can explain the things that we talked about today. So it should all be up there. Hopefully I've got tomorrow evening off, so I can do that all then. Yee.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hopefully everything was going all right with your stuff, Lewis. But yeah, so yeah, just this week's prompt is just, this is the world. Explore, have fun. And now back to this screen, so that I could end the stream. Yeah, thanks for coming along. Apologies for stopping just as 2 people arrive, because I'm bad like that. Yeah, we'll carry on next week. Carry on next Sunday, where we'll hop along and see what people have made with regards to whatever this world is now.
He made and talked about and everything.
Yes. So feel free to natter in the old Project Via Discord thing. You are forgiven. No, thanks. Thank you, pot friend. Thanks, Cos. There was something I was going to say. I think yes, we have the Discord page or the Discord channel. Discord is channel, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a thing in the Discord
We have a
for
thing.
Project Via.
Yeah.
Feel free to chat about there, ask questions, share ideas. Everybody have a good time chit-chatting, because this is collaborative. And then next week I will have the wheels ready, and we will have prompts for random places and random things to draw or come up with, write about, etc. Be creative, chat, have fun. I'll be back on Tuesday with Bioshock. And hopefully whoever wants to come to the stream next Sunday will be back next Sunday to do whatever we're going to do next Sunday.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you have submitted a dissertation so you can contribute. Yeah!
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. You're not going to need it, but good luck.
Yeah.
I'm going to end the stream now. Also,
Goodbye.
the Adrian von Ziegler music stopped like an hour in. I don't know why. Apologies for the stream just being quiet. I planned this very well.
Definitely.
They'll give you the luck. Give you all the luck. We'll give you excess luck. You don't need it, but we'll give it to you. It's fine.
Give you all the
Luck
luck.
to you. You got this.
Have a lovely week, everybody. Thanks for coming
Have a
along.
good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.